All right, so you guys see the title of the video. I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. I know some of you were anticipating this video, so I had to be sure to bring it to you guys as fast as possible. Let's go ahead and get into it. Fresh off the FedEx truck, introducing the all-new Caudabe Paragon Series. Now, of course, a huge shout out to Caudabe for always looking out, dropping me with the latest and greatest for those iPhones. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. We are going to look at the Ember, but well, the one that shows off the features a little bit better. Let's look at the actual sea glass. Now, these are going to be three different colors: sea glass, moonstone, and that's going to be the Ember colorway. Now, I'm gonna be real with you, man. The camera does not do any justice the way how vibrant these. It doesn't look as vibrant on camera, but when you get them in person, it definitely gives you a very good color. So let's go ahead and check them out. Let's move these to the side and let's just simply focus on Paragon alone. I'm not going to get into a whole compare and contrast versus the sheath and the synthesis. That's something that we'll do for a separate video. So the number one question is being asked is, T, what is that material on the back of the Paragon? What is it? Is it like the sheath? Is it like the synthesis? It's like neither. It is really its own texture. As you can see right here, it does have a shine against it's a smooth matte. It doesn't really capture fingerprints or smudges or anything like that, but it does have a sheen and it does have a hard style material. So that's kind of what's going on when it comes to the back. It wasn't really what I expected. I thought it was going to be a matte to where you didn't really see a sheen or anything like that with texture. So I'm curious to see how this does over time. Now they did say it is scratch resistant, and that's something that we'll have to put a big question mark on because of it has a sheen and it's a hard back. So I really want to see how scratch resistant it is as it goes over time. Something that we're really going to pay close attention to. This is just going to be an initial impressions video just so you can see, you can see what's going on with the actual case. Now, stepping around the case, let's go ahead and talk about the sides. Now, when it comes to the sides, you're going to see that it is going to have that camera control cutout, which I feel like Caudabe does very well. But the buttons are going to be matched to the case, especially in this sense. Now, when it comes to the Moonstone, it definitely has a little bit, they kind of have a different little contrast to them. So this is going to be the gray. That's going to be the, the Ember colorway. So you can see kind of what the buttons have going on, but it's a nice pearlescent sheen. Like, it's not just your color matched buttons. No, they have a very nice shine, a type of vibrancy to them that is really hard to capture. Right there at that angle, you can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. So those are the exact same buttons that you're going to be getting on the sheath, on the synthesis, the metallic, the metallic buttons that we've first seen now with the iPhone, even though they were shown on the S24 Ultra model, but we finally got them here when it comes to the iPhone. And also on the sides, you are going to get some different grips. So this is basically a third different, if you want to say, grip pattern when it comes to it. So the sheath, you're mostly going to get grip from the material that the case is made out of. When it comes to the synthesis, they're going to give you a little micro dot grips, which I feel like does very well. But on the Paragon, you're going to get these little slotted grips, which also does very well in my opinion. And I feel like the grip really is spot on. I feel like if you think the synthesis grips are a little too aggressive, the Paragons they feel really good. They're very subtle, but yet still provides good grip. And on the middle, you can see on the back of them, you are going to get that soft lining that the synthesis is missing. You're going to get that soft lining on the inside that's going to look very familiar when it comes to the actual sheath. Now, what does this case feel like as in structure? That's a lot of you guys have been asked. Does it feel like a sheath? Does it feel like a synthesis? It feels more so on the line of synthesis, which means the fit is going to be a little bit more snug. You're going to have a little bit more tolerances when it comes to this side. So all of the fit and everything is going to be very tight, very on point. And that's what you expect from something that fits just like the synthesis. So the footprint of it fits more synthesis than it does sheath, if you guys know exactly what I mean. Now, let's go ahead and bring the scale over here, and everything else is kind of standard protocol. All right, now this one is going to have kind of a ski slope effect when it comes to the actual lay on the tail protection. We'll talk about that a little bit more, man, but this thing feels very thin, especially when you slap it on your 16 Pro Max. It really has a thinner profile than the synthesis. That's the way it feels in hand. So let's go ahead and pop it down on the scale. The Paragon is going to weigh 49 grams. Now, just going through the lineup, I want to see what it compares. When it comes to the synthesis, 49 grams. So they weigh the exact same. And coming to the sheath, it's going to weigh $50. So you see, they all kind of are $49.50, not that big of a deal. The sheath is gonna feel like more case in your hand, definitely, than the Paragon and the Synthesis does. Now, let's go ahead and let me get my phone. Let's pop the 16 Pro Max in there, and let's just do that one more time. Did you guys hear that pop on? Did y'all hear that pop? Yeah, that pop was something serious. Dropping it down when it comes to 16 Pro Max and the Paragon Series, 289 grams. Now, let's go ahead and go through it, and let's check all the boxes, see what this Paragon case really has going on. Starting off with that lay on the table protection. Now, as you can see, what I said here, it has a very subtle slope type of design, which means the middle is going to be very flush to your screen. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. The middle is super flush, allowing you to have easy swipes if that's something that you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So that is very flush, but when it comes to the outside, you're going to have very small, subtle lips, as you can see there on the top and on the bottom. So when you drop it down, you'll still get some of that lay on the table protection, and you don't got to worry about that being a thing of when you're talking about dropping it. Now, even though this is still rated at 6.6 feet drop protection, it's going to be made for your everyday drops and dings and things like that. So it does have a slightly different design than your Synthesis and your sheath. They decided to make it real smooth in the middle and give you the little slopes on the front and top side, just so it can feel a little bit slimmer and help you out with those swipes if that's what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Now, how does this case fit on the phone? It fits tight. It really reminds me, just like I said, of the Synthesis. Starting here at the top, you're going to be very, very stiff. Nothing going on there. Starting off with the sides, even when it comes to the button area, you'll still be able to move it, but that is going to be very, very stiff. Coming down the sides, nothing moves whatsoever. Even when it comes to the camera control button, you'll get a little bit of movement over there, but that's something that's going to stay intact. This does not feel like it's going to be droopy or anything like that over time. I don't think you have to worry about it. And coming down here on the bottom, as you can see right here, it has a little bit of move, but also still going to be very, very stiff. Popping it on, all four corners, they all pop on just fine. Everything is good. No super audible click, but they pop on just fine. Nothing wrong with them. Let's go ahead and test out those buttons. So let's do the power button. Perfectly fine when it comes to that power button. Volume up, volume down, action. All the buttons work just fine. I wouldn't expect nothing less. I really love what Caudabe has done when it comes to their buttons. Now, how does it feel in your hands? And this is where the question mark for me comes, because you get grip on the sides. The grip on the sides feel really, really good. Just between this texture of material that goes around, paired with those little side grips, it feels perfect. Not abrasive, doesn't hurt your hands, but where it flips is on the back where your hands are resting. This material, in my opinion, isn't the grippiest, but it's not terrible. So that's kind of like the difference that you feel. You feel it being super grippy, but on the back, you feel it being a little bit slippery. You see what I'm saying? So this is the only thing that I say if I don't necessarily care for. Although I think the case is fantastic, getting used to this material on the back is going to be something to really get used to when it comes to the more of matte, hard, sheen type of texture. All right. Now, but other than that, in the hands, it feels good. It feels a little bit slimmer in profile than the Synthesis, although it is the same weight. In hand, it does feel a little bit more slim. So not terrible. I like that, because anything more slim, I'm for it. I'm all with it. All right. Now, let's talk about the camera control area. Now, the camera control, as we see, no, it does not have a button, but they have Caudabe's version of the cutout, which I feel looks very clean, not overly big, no overly material being taken off that really doesn't need it, but it does have, the slopes when it comes to the sides and when it comes to the top and bottom. Faint slopes, so when you get your finger in there, you can get it in there with no issues and still be able to activate that camera control if that's something that you want to do without any issues. So it is there. When you're holding it in your right hand, you really don't feel it. Holding it in the left hand, as I always say, that finger right here will be resting right on it, but I don't feel like you'll get any accidental clinks or anything like that, just because it's harder to press when you don't have a button there. When you have a button, you're going to accidentally press it. When you don't, your fingers just kind of rest there, unless you're really just putting a death grip on your phone, then that's going to be something a little bit different. Now, let's go ahead and test out the MagSafe strength and see what this bad boy has going on. So, of course, it has those MagSafe magnets. Dropping it on MagSafe, it's going to work just fine. and lifting it up off MagSafe. You see it came up, but it kind of wants to pick it up a little bit, but it is dropping ever so slightly. But if you go real slow, it does hold on to my heavy Nomad base. Now, that considers still very strong magnets. I'm not saying this is going to be a weak magnet, but it does drop off, but at least it does pick this base up. And in my opinion, that's all I ask for when you're talking about doing a MagSafe test. If you can pick that up, that means you've been putting that work in the gym when it comes to the magnets. Of course, let's go ahead and test out the MagSafe accessories. Now, when it comes to the MagSafe wallet, I'm not sure. You guys want to see me continue to do the MagSafe wallet test? I'm not sure if you guys want me to, but doing the MagSafe wallet, you see it does dance and move around a little bit, but everyday use, yeah, I feel like it will move around a little bit just because of this material being that more shiny and hard material. All right, now, shake test. Y'all know what time it is, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and start off with, all right, so there it is. Works with that charging. You see it right there. Light shake. Okay, it kind of flew off on light shake, all right. Medium, let's do light again. All right, that's light. This is more medium. So you see it does kind of fly off when it comes to the medium shake, all right? Now, let's go ahead and throw the other colors up here because I know that's the main thing that you guys want to see is how the other colors look, especially when it comes to this white titanium. And let's go ahead and get what I'm sure everybody wants to see, the case that I'm probably going to be rocking with, which is going to be that Moonstone with that white titanium. That, in my opinion, looks very good, very clean with the white back with the gray surrounding. And I'm sure this is probably the same gray, yep, that you're going to get when it comes to the synthesis and the sheath. So that looks clean, all right, with the dark gray kind of buttons with the pearlescent finish with that white. If you tilt it, it kind of has that pearl, like a white pearl look. This right here, I feel like it's going to be the best combination. I don't care what iPhone you have. There's a titanium, black, what's the other color? Natty. Maybe with the natural, the natty, it might look good, but this white titanium is where it's at when it comes to this colorway right here. So I'm loving the way it looks. And let's look at those cutouts on the bottom. Your cutouts, of course, are good. That's the same thing with Caudabe. So that looks very, very good. But one color that you guys want to be bold and you want to go out there and get, which I'm not mad at it. I might rock this a little bit too. This is going to be the Ember, all right? So that Ember with that white titanium looks very, very good. Now, the Ember is definitely orange. I don't feel like it's more red than orange. It's just a true deep orange. You can see those colors of those buttons give you that nice pearlescent finish. And I like it, man. Every one of these colors I feel like are spot on, and I cannot wait to see what Caudabe does when they come out with more cases in the future. So my final thoughts on it, man, I actually really, really like it. I love the fit. I love that they have those subtle grips on the side. It's not aggressive as the synthesis, which that's not aggressive to me. Feels really good, very stiff when it comes to around the edges, feel very thin in your hand. You're gonna have that nice flush screen so you can really swipe and do what you wanna do if you play games or something like that. That's gonna feel really good. And in my opinion, the only thing that I have to say that I have to get really used to is gonna be that back texture, all right, with that shine. And I would have loved to seen them do kind of what they do on the actual synthesis, and that's kind of give it a little bit of a bump on the edges. So when you put these down, you're not sitting it directly on this surface. So if there was one thing that I could probably change about the Paragon is give us either little lips on this on the four corners. So when you put it down, you're not resting it on that back surface. Although it does say it's scratch resistant, we will be putting that to the test and we will see how it lasts over time, because normally hard type material with that shine and sheen to it sometimes can lead to micro scratches, but that's something that we'll test the more we use this case. And I'm going to put this case through the ringer so we can see if Caudabe can keep up to those standards like they do with the sheath and the synthesis, man. So loving it, man. Moonstone, Sea Glass. I really like what all of these cases have going on. Gives you that nice color, that pop when it comes to the when it comes to Caudabe cases, man. So let me know in the comment section down below. The link will be down below. You can go ahead and pre-order one. I'm not sure when they are shipping. All right, Caudabe, if they're watching this video, they might want to drop it down below. People kind of want to get them in hand because I know that pre-order has been a very long time. So maybe if I get some more information, I can tell you exactly when these are going to be shipping out. But I like it. I do like it. I just want to see how this back. I thought this was going to be more of a matte kind of rubberish feel. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was going to be more on the hard side. My only concern about this case is how that's going to do over time with showing wear and tear. But I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. And us watching these videos, we're case sticklers. We're gonna need cases for our cases soon, man. So go ahead and check it out. But if you want to see a video talking about the Caudabe sheath, the synthesis is going to be coming soon, but I will drop that Caudabe sheath video right here.